Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart to infinite love, infinite love. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to Unity of Charlotte on this somewhat cold morning. And so happy to see all of you. Do we have any first-timers present today? Any first-timers? Well, we're just glad that all of you, had the intention and the purpose in mind to come and to worship with us this morning here at Unity of Charlotte at 401 East Arrowwood. We also want to acknowledge and welcome our Access 21 viewers, as well as those who might go online to YouTube and look at our Sunday service at that time. And certainly any time that you're in Charlotte, we begin at 10:30 a.m., and we welcome all of you to visit with us at 401 East Arrowwood.
Today's daily word is hope. I behold the wonder of God. Watching children discover the wonders of life reminds me that God is the source of life at the center of everyone. Holding this truth in mind, I know that each and every creation is precious to God. Because I know that all of nature is to be treasured, I help preserve the environment that supports the abundance of life. I honor God by honoring all creation because of our shared sacred heritage. Nothing can come between individuals or nations except our resistance to accepting who we are as God created. As I view the abundance and diversity of life with wonder, I take in the awesomeness of God that continues to unfold. I am eager to live from an awareness of the sacred presence that sustains all life. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. Matthew 18:5. I'm Lana Moorhead. I'm the prayer chaplain for today, and after service I will be in the prayer room for anyone who needs prayer. Thank you.
Okay, this next song actually is another song for the congregation to join in, and I'm pretty sure that you're familiar with the melody. It's This Little Light of Mine, with some changes in the words. But I hope everybody will join in, and you can stand, you can sit, you can do whatever you're comfortable doing. this light around the world, and I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna take this light around the world, and I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna take this light around the world, and I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Back to chorus. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Chorus. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Now I'm going to say a few words about this talented person sitting before you and leading you in song and leading throughout this service. For those of you who have not been in her presence, this is Reverend Michele Sevacko, and she is just filled with all sorts of talents and capabilities. I'm just going to try to say a few things about it. She's been a pioneer all of her life. She's been willing to step into things that are non-traditional for her and most women. But she's learned how to step up and to respond to the call of spirit, and she just fills us up with her spirit whenever she joins us. And thankfully, in the last 9 years, she's joined our services many times. And she keeps getting asked back again and again because of the spirit that she brings to us. She actually has a PhD in philosophy with her specialization in pastoral counseling. So any of those of you that want to take advantage of her ability to counsel you and to help you through some rough times, just know that she is qualified. And she has been a metaphysical New Thought minister for over 30 years. And unity has been the primary path that she has taken to express her commitment to New Thought beliefs. In addition to speaking, you can tell that she has filled with creativity. She writes and performs, and she is especially capable with rhythm circles. And some of you have had the pleasure of joining her in rhythm circles right here in this church. So I just want to surprise, however, Kelly, one of our leaders of our spirit groups. I want to surprise her with something that I read about Michele.
Uh-oh.
Reverend Michele not only administers a major prayer group of 10,000 people around the world, but she also is qualified by Worldwide Unity in small group ministry. And I'll bet there are very few of us who knew that she had jumped into small group ministry as led by Unity Worldwide. But she was one of 34 pioneers who engaged with Worldwide Unity in small group ministry training, and so she actually can train other people in small group ministry. So she's and her husband Chuck have recently relocated to our neighborhood, our neck of the woods. So she and Chuck live right across the border in a wonderful senior community there. And I just know that she would love to be of service any time that we have a need or that you have a need. Reverend Michele is also an active member of the Association for Global New Thought. And so we've changed the service a bit, and instead of you having to wait around to hear from Reverend Michele, you're going to hear from her right now.
Thank you. Well, how many of you are on Facebook? Well, if you're a friend of mine or a friend of a friend, you may have seen my profile picture. It's artwork that was done by a friend named Diane English, who's also known as the Great Cosmic Happy Ass. Anybody ever hear of her? And it's an illustration of a woman kind of leaping around, and it says, "Any day above ground is a good day." And that is my motto. So today, since I'm above ground, you all are above ground, it must be a good day, right? A God day. And so I'd like to take a moment and just express our gratitude for this good day, this God day. And do that because we know that gratitude is one of the highest vibrations that you can put out there. And so I'd like to fill up this room with that feeling of gratitude by asking you to join me in saying, "Thank you, God, for," and then just say the first 5 things that come off the top of your head. But say them out loud, say them with conviction, like you really mean it, okay? So together now. Thank you, God, for my husband, his job, my family, my friends, my health. And now turn to the person next to you and tell them that you're grateful that they're here. Yes, thanks. So while I am kind of in that attitude of gratitude pretty much every day, numerous times during the day, I'm walking around going, "Thank you, God," for whatever it is that's going on. It seems like at this time of year, there is more focus on gratitude. First, because we've just moved through the Thanksgiving time, but also because we're going through Advent, we'll come into the Christmas season, and a lot of what we seem to focus on at that time are gifts. And it may not be of our own doing. It seems like it was just the day after Christmas last year that we started seeing and hearing countdowns. Only 364 days left to do your shopping. Doesn't that kind of make you cringe? So I want to do a little experiment. I want us to pretend we're from another planet. How many of you is that hard for? And you've been sent here to observe, experience, and report back what Christmas is. What are some of the things that you would say that Christmas is? That's not a rhetorical question.
That's the birth of God, Jesus.
Hey,
Santa.
Santa.
Giving gifts. Love.
Can't hear you see or what's it feel?
Memories.
Forgiveness.
Family.
Yep, I think those all represent the season.
Christmas carols and
The first thing that comes to my mind, though, is how we are bombarded by advertisers telling us that we have to buy things. And we don't just have to buy things, but if we really care about somebody, then it has to be expensive things.
That's right.
And if you can't afford those expensive things, that's okay, because they'll be happy to help you get into debt. If you're lucky, you might have them paid off by the time it's time to go the next round. I don't know when that became part of our mindset in our culture, though. But it probably goes back thousands of years, because you can read in the Bible stories about people giving somebody a gift because they wanted something from them, or maybe because they'd extended hospitality. And of course, we have the Magi who bring their gifts to the Christ child. But when you look up the definition of a gift, it says that it's something that's given voluntarily without no thought of getting anything in return. But how often do we buy something for somebody that gave us something first, so we feel like we've got to, or in some way feel obligated? And how often does someone ask you if you had a good Christmas, and what you understand them to say is, did you get everything you wanted? Was Santa good to you? There are also other gifts that you don't buy in stores, though. There's cash, there's checks, there's PayPal, and I'm happy to accept all three. But there are other gifts as well. The first one that comes to my mind is our five senses. In Unity, we teach and we believe that we are spiritual beings having, right. And so we tend to focus on those things that we feel are more spiritual. But our senses are such a gift, and they do so much as we travel through this human experience. We don't want to negate that experience. Next, we have our spiritual gifts that we read about in the Bible. And there's a few different sets of those. But the one that I'm going to talk about, excuse me, are the gifts of the Spirit that we read about in Galatians. The fruits of the Spirit. They include love, peace, joy, patience, and several more. And I believe that we're all gifted with those fruits. However, sometimes we're like a seed. Sometimes we're still in the growing process. Sometimes we've actually come to fruition and we've ripened. But what happens to fruit if you don't use it? It spoils. It might start attracting fruit flies. And sometimes it can shrivel up to the point where you don't even recognize what it is. Don't ask me how I know that. But I think that's what happens when we don't express. Express means to be squeezed out. And we're here to be squeezed out. And we do that through expressing and sharing our gifts. If you've heard me speak before, you've probably heard me say that I believe and teach that we were created by love, with a big L, as love to express love. And Unity's fifth basic principle is, anybody? It's not enough to just know the truth. We have to live that truth. We have to put the feet on it. Now in Unity, we also have a list of 12 gifts. Generally, they're referred to as the 12 powers. And there's a book by that name written by the co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore. But there's a teaching tool for our young people that's called the 12 gifts. And I like to think of them as gifts that have been given to us. But in many, if not most, Unity churches and centers on Christmas Eve, they'll be acknowledging the 12 powers. We're all about balancing those gifts because they're all part of the whole, just as we're part of the whole. But for me, love is still the most important. And I believe that divine love is always available and accessible to us. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, it's within us. There's a song in the Unity hymnal, Wings of Song, that's called Love Comes Down at Christmas. And after singing this song for many years, several years ago I was the music coordinator down at the Unity Church of Greenville in South Carolina and was going over music and the lyrics for the Advent and Christmas season. And I thought, love comes down? Where is it coming from? Because in Unity, we know that God, love, is everywhere present, all around us, including moving in and through us. It doesn't just stay stuck in our earth suits. It's movement constantly. Now, the next gift that I thought about was the light. Some of us close our letters sending love and light. Sometimes in meditation, we'll send love and light to other people, going all around the globe, to nature, to the planet. And to me, this is a season of light. We have Hanukkah, which is also known as the Festival of Lights. We have winter solstice, which is the shortest day in our hemisphere, but it's a celebration of the return of the light as it gradually begins to return. And then we celebrate the child who is the light, as we honor the traditional story, but also celebrate the metaphysical story of the birth of the awareness of that Christ light that shines in all of us. The awakening to our Christ self, coming together in the truth of who we really are. In John 12:26, we read, "Believe in the light while you have the light, so that you may become children of the light." And now we're going to join together in singing a song, "I Am the Light," with the help of our choir, but this again is everybody sing. And it's another call and respond, where this side of the room, we're going to do the first line, and then the lines that are in the parentheses, this side of the room will do. if you have any questions, ask Patricia. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light, let our light shine, shine day and night. Sometimes we hesitate to share our gifts. Sometimes we've been told somewhere along the way that we couldn't do it. We weren't good enough. Or maybe it wasn't appropriate. And we believed it. So going back about 30 years, at that time we were members of the Unity Center in Pittsburgh. And I was the accompanist for the youth choir, sang with the adult choir, did trios, duets, but I wouldn't sing solo. And don't try to put a microphone in front of me, because that was like sticking a snake in front of my face. But this one week, the music director and the minister came to me and said, "We're doing a song this week that's perfect for your voice." So I came up with every reason that I could think of that I couldn't do it. And finally, one of them said, "You can't keep your light hidden under a bushel." And that just spoke to my heart. So I was like, okay. And it ended up being pretty well received. Want to know what the song was? It was a special song. The minister was doing a series on the metaphysics of the Wizard of Oz. And the song that they chose for me was "If I Only Had a Brain." But fortunately, we do all have brains. We all have hearts. But because we're each unique expressions of the one, we share our hearts in different ways. And some people do that in really extraordinary ways. There's people like Helen Keller, Gandhi, Martin Luther King. Some fabulous entertainers, scientists, poets, teachers, and more. No matter what people tried to tell them, or how much people tried to discourage them, they said yes to what was in their heart. Sometimes they weren't appreciated. Sometimes they were met with resistance, and sometimes even worse. And sometimes they were called names, like misfit, weird, freak. It's what happens sometimes when somebody thinks outside the box, or like me, just throws out the box. But a few years ago, I came across a bumper sticker that said, "God bless the freaks." And I was like, yes. So I got the sticker, brought it home, put it on my bulletin board in my office/music room, so that I would see it every day as a reminder that God loves all of us, no matter what anybody else thinks. And then one day, I had a chorus come to me. And I decided to share it with my friends on Facebook. And I said, if anybody has any lyrics that they would like to contribute, just go ahead and put them in the comments. We'll sort it all out later. Within a few hours, I'd had enough comments that I could create a new song. So now we're going to share with you, with the help of the choir, God Bless the Freaks. And I would love it if you would join in on the chorus. One more wipe. I'm cast aside, the world rejects me, and I feel just like a fool. But you and I, side by side, take on the world together, because you're a misfit too. God bless the freaks, the uniques, and the misfits too, 'cause on some level they are just like you. God bless the freaks, the uniques, and the misfits too, 'cause on some level they are just like you. I'm proud to not be normal or average, I'm different. Originality can give us clarity. You may be quirky, or it's quiet or smart, but we're not so far apart. We are one in the heart. They may be a poet, a true world peace crafter, a healer, a writer who gives us with laughter. They may be called dreamers and schemers and such, but each one's a gift with their own unique touch. God bless the freaks, the uniques, and the misfits too, 'cause On some level they are just like you. God bless the freaks, the uniques, and the misfits too. 'Cause on some level they are just like you. So if you are not unique without the cooler freak, I'm sure that God will bless you too. But I am on the level and you will run from that devil, because it's not scared of a normal you. Oh, the misfits are so freaky, the kind you don't take home to mother. So pick one up and take it home. She ain't heavy, she's your brother. They're alright, we're alright, they're just like you and me. Reflections of a divine source and love's diversity. God bless the freaks, the uniques, and the misfits too. 'Cause on some level they are just like you. God bless the freaks, the uniques, and the misfits too. 'Cause on some level they are just like you. Do 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 do. Thank you. There's other gifts to share too. The ones that I call gifts from the heart. Like when you make a meal for somebody that you know isn't feeling well. Or you do some lawn work, yard work for an elderly neighbor or somebody that's incapacitated. Or you treat a couple with a young child for them to go out on a date night and you babysit for them. Things like that. But I think the biggest gift that you can give is just being with somebody. Maybe to talk with them. Maybe just to listen. Really listen. Not with the intention of figuring out what you're going to say in response, but really hearing what they say. Being fully present, I think, is the best present that you can give. Now, I also wanted to take a second and mention Kwanzaa. That's also a celebration going on at this time of year, and I didn't want you to think I forgot it, but it's special, and I wanted it to have a special place. One of the days recognizes Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics. And in Winston-Salem, a couple years ago, the theme for that day was using my talents in cooperation with the talents of others so that together we may all prosper. So that we may all prosper. And it just makes sense to me because I know if I feel lifted up, then I can lift you up. And together we can lift everybody up. And then finally, we have a gift that without it, there wouldn't be any need for any of the other gifts. You know what it is? We're kind of going full circle here now, if that gives you a clue.
Yourself.
Life. Remember, we gave gratitude for this life that we have. But how many people get up in the morning, trudge into the bathroom or into the kitchen, and are just kind of like, oh God, it's another day. Rather than saying, thank you for this day. One of my favorite ways to start the day is by singing, this is the day the Lord has made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. Sometimes I do the traditional version, sometimes I do a more upbeat version. But I think it's important to start the day recognizing that. And not only do we have the opportunity to experience another day ourselves, but it also gives us the opportunity to possibly make the difference in the life of somebody else. It might be through doing volunteer work, whether at a local or a global level. I think, is it today that you're doing Room at the Inn here?
Yes.
Which is a beautiful example of that. It might be as simple as just sharing a smile with somebody that you're passing on the street or somebody in a store. Or maybe turning around right now to the person next to you and giving them a smile. So during this season and beyond, I invite you to remember that we celebrate the child who is the light, and that we all have that light within us. As children of the divine, we were all created in that image and likeness. And we all have the love and life within us too. And as you let your light, your love, and your life shine forth and spread them, that's the gift. You are the gift. You and you and you. We are all the gifts. And so now, before we go into meditation, we're going to share another song called The Gift. And again, please join in on the chorus. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. My true purpose is to live the life that I desire. There's divine work for each of us, using the gifts you've inspired. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. Success comes when we trust your guidance and direction. Your indwelling truth is greater than any circumstance or condition. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. You are the true source of all our good, and your well never runs dry. We stand firm in faith as we answer your call with trust. We don't even ask why. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God, gift to God. Thank you. So now, get comfortable in your seats. Feel yourself being fully supported. As you relax all of the muscles in your body. Take a few deep breaths. And as you do so, feel yourself consciously connected to the divine, our source, God, the allness, by whatever name you call it. As you continue breathing, feel yourself releasing the busyness of this season as you relax into beingness. You are a spiritual being. In 1 Peter 3:4 we read, "Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfailing beauty, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight." While you are a spiritual being, you are a human becoming. And in our humanness, we are open and receptive to God's living spirit of truth as we allow the radiant love, light, and life of God to illuminate our minds and our hearts. we are being divinely guided in everything we think, say, and do. We are making decisions for the highest and best of all concerned. And we trust that in all ways and all ways, that everything is unfolding in divine right order. Following that guidance, we know love. We know light. We know life. We experience love. We experience light. And we experience life. Breathe into that experience and feel your heart opening even wider. Feel your love reaching out to those who are next to you. Going out into the community. Traveling around this planet. If you have anyone or anything that's in your heart in this moment, you can say their name out loud, or you can say it silently. And now just rest in this space of peace for a few moments. And now as we come back to this time, in this space, I'll leave you with this. My prayer is that you will know with every fiber of your being the gift that you are. And that by being a blessing for others, because we know what we sow, we reap. It's the law of reciprocity at work. That you will be blessed beyond measure. And so it is. I am the gift, you are the gift, we are the gifts, let our gifts shine. I am the gift, you are the gift, we are the gifts, let our gifts shine. I am the gift,
You are the gift.
I am the